Hey guys, welcome to Cereal at Midnight. My name is Heath, and I wanted to show off some books that I've bought over the last month or so. This is really a 1 month haul video. All books purchased from secondhand stores, thrift stores, used bookshops, places like that. There's over 150 titles in this particular video, and they're not cleaned up or anything like that, but they have, the price tags are still on a lot of them. But I thought it would be fun to just show you what books I've been finding out there and how much they've been selling for. All right, this first part of the haul is going to total almost 100 books. It's 99 books, and all of these came from McKay's, which is a chain in Tennessee, a Tennessee regional chain of used media. They sell books at, fairly good prices, and you're going to see these. So I'm going to kick us off with the Spillanes that I bought. There's 99 of these from McKay's, and then we'll move on to some of the other places that I bought books from. But this is The Body Lovers, Mickey Spillane, Mike Hammer, first time in paperback. I paid $2.25. $2.25 is really, that might be the most I paid for just about anything we're going to talk about here. This is I love the red page edges on this. And copyright 1967 for this one. Set that to the side. This is probably the most salacious cover of anything we're going to talk about here. This is The Last Cop Out. $2.25 for this one as well. Copyright date of 1973 on this one. The Twisted Thing, $1.75. Now the stickers, I left the stickers on because I wanted you to see what I paid. I did not pay a quarter. I wish that I did. But $1.75, that's for these old vintage paperbacks, you know, and this has the, again, these covers were really meant to sell the book. And, oh, look, we have a stamp. So Oak Creek Book Exchange in Oak Creek, Wisconsin. Copyright 1966. Survival Zero, $1.50. Cover price 75 cents. For their age and what these are, I thought these were in pretty great shape. They've, you know, some of the things we're going to talk about here, they're not in good shape at all. This is a little writing on the inside. Again, I've done no cleaning here. I will clean these after, but I wanted to share what I found and what I found it for. So 1970 on this one. And then this is The Last Spillane. Killer Mine. Which was $1.50, and 1965, and then this is first signet printing was 1968. So that's the Spillanes, but we're going to get into the rest of this stuff. It's heavy on science fiction because that's really where I come from. That's the touchstone for me, science fiction and fantasy. So let's just dive in with a 5-cent copy of War Sprite. Now, I don't know anything about this, but the cover absolutely sold it to me. Well, the 5 cents sold it too. But I just love the form of this book. I love the silver. From the publishers of the best-selling Dragonlance and Forgotten Realms novels. This is TSR. What year is this? Copyright 1990. So I thought it was a beautiful book and worth a shot for a nickel. This was 25 cents. I'm telling you guys, whenever I'm near a McKay's, this is why I go hit a McKay's. Because if you love old books, and if you're old enough to have dated back to the thrift store scene before eBay, this is what you used to could find if you were lucky on a particular day. So this is, I'm guessing this is pronounced lyric, 25 cents. And if you want to freeze it here, I'll put this down. And if you want to freeze, you know, the video so you can see what these are about. You read the back covers. Let's see, this is from a bookshop in Atlanta, Georgia. What's the date on this? 1984. It's my era. All right, I bought 2 copies of this book. I bought 2 copies of Satan's World by Poul Anderson because they had 2 drastically different cover treatments. Are these even the You know, these are the same publishers. Let's see. This is a Berkeley Medallion book, and this is, let's see, Berkeley. Yeah, so it's just different trade. What year is this? This publisher, this was, let's see, 1983, it looks like, for this one. And this is obviously going to be much, much older. Maybe even original, 1969. 1977. So actually only a 6-year difference between these, but completely different. And because, you know, I would not normally buy 2 copies of the same book, but I thought that for $1 because part of the appeal of these vintage paperbacks is the cover treatment. So I did buy both versions of the cover. You know, it's beautiful artwork. In fact, let's see. Do we know who the artist is on this? Looking for the artist. I'm not seeing it, but maybe I'm missing it. Vault of the Ages, $1.25 for this one. It held power beyond man's imagining. The power of doom. Guessing this is going to be late 70s as well. Copyright 1952. This printing, Berkeley edition, 1978. So this is probably, you know, we're getting into that Star Wars time when everything is $250. This is the most. Okay, this is the high dollar amount so far. $250. Poul Anderson again. I've tried to group these things, but as you see as we'll go on, I haven't done a whole lot of work to group them ahead of time. 1975. Poul Anderson, Traitor to the Stars, $175. Here's our artist. What's his copyright? What's this? Is that 82? So when is this? 83 maybe? Let's see. 1983, February 1983. They're just in beautiful condition for their age, these. Now, they're not all going to be, but, you know, some of these are really in fine shape. This is part 1 of a series, and I believe, yes, I also have part 3, the saga of Dominic Flandry, agent of the Terran Empire. So they have book 1, and they have book 3. They did not have book 2. But how's that for some cover art right there? And for 50 cents as well. What's the date on this? Copyright 1966. Second Ace printing April of 1979. This is probably 84, I'm going to guess. Let's see. First Ace printing was January 1980. Okay. More. Poul Anderson, 75 cents. The Long Way Home. You can't go home again. Let's see here. Copyright 1978. Third Ace printing July 1979. Gordon R. Dixon. There's a lot of Gordon R. Dixon here, and I don't think that they're all going to be together. You'll see as we go on. But this is The Spirit of Dorsai, 50 cents. Do you remember when you could walk into a place and buy a used book for 50 cents? It's been a long time. Actually, they put a star by that because some of the books we're going to talk about in a minute after this McKay's haul. Is that the author's signature? Gordon R. Dixon. Holy cow. Unbelievable. I didn't know that was there. I suspect that the store didn't know that was there either. Why? Oh, wow. That's unbelievable. Anyway, some of the stuff that I did find came from a thrift store, and it was 50 cents. So you can still find those deals, but they're a little bit harder to find. What is this? I'm seeing a page. I'm seeing something in here. Oh, it's a bookmark. False alarm. Okay, well, hold on. I'll set that to the side. I put that right here. Gordon R. Dixon, Love Not Human, 25 cents. We've got the book rack stamp here. Where is that from? I don't know what city that's in. They don't give the city or state. Okay, so this is going to be 1981. First tour printing is 1988. So this is a 1988 printing. And here's our book rack bookmark. Thousands of used paperbacks. Trade 2 for 1. That was always the deal when I was young. I would ride my bike up to we had a book rack. I don't know if it was a chain. I thought it was just a local bookstore. There's a lot of places called the book rack that sell used books, but that was the deal. You could trade 2 for 1, or the books were half price. And as a kid, I would ride my bike up to the store and I'd come back. They had comics, so all of that stuff. It was a good time, and I do miss it, actually. I'm going to put this back in the book that it was in. Just put that right there. Space Paw, Gordon R. Dickson Space Paw. If you can't tell, because there's a sticker covering the title. It's called Space Paw. And when is this? Let's see, 75 cents. And 1983. Check out this cover treatment. So this is sort of worn here. That's not in great condition. Patrick Deeren, Starflight to Farul. A renegade starship lieutenant escapes from prison to seek Farul, the planet of creation. 25 cents. You know what? I'm going to very carefully, I want to see this artwork. I'm going to very carefully take this off the sticker. Again, I'll do all this for the rest of these books later, and I'll clean them, maybe polish the covers. Oh man, that's great. All right, I'll set this sticker to the side. And you know, I would have done it beforehand, but I wanted to show the deals because I'm just not used to finding. Are we missing a page? I think we're missing a page. Maybe not. No, we're not. There we go. 1980. See, you see this just needs to be this glue. I will probably take some bookbinding glue and put a thin bead along the inner cover just to make sure that it doesn't come loose. That's, again, when you get into the paper, as you know, probably because you're watching this video, when you get into vintage book collecting or used book collecting, you do a lot of repair work. You're gluing things back in, you're gluing spines, you're taking care of the covers. Gordon R. Dickson, The Alien Way, 50 cents. And this, Mary's Book Exchange, Omaha, Nebraska, 1965. You see why I seek out McKay's. $1.25. That's a bit expensive for what these are, but look at this. Oh, this looks like the sticker is covering a maybe. Yeah, this sticker is covering a previous McKay's sticker that looks like it took some of the cover off, but we can still appreciate that for what we've got there. This looks like it's very much trying to capitalize on Buck Rogers. TV is the 21st century. Networks rule the ratings. Networks rule and ratings are all. This is from the book rack. Dayton Boulevard and Ringgold Road, but we don't know where. If you know where that book rack is, let me know. Copyright 1984. All right, we're starting a new stack. Let's see. This is John Brunner, The Dreaming Earth, $2.25, a little higher than some of the others. What is the date? But again, you know, good condition for its age. 1963. Let's see, third printing, September of 1974. Set that there. The Productions of Time by John Brunner, $1.25. Signet paperback. Masses of meaningless wire, seeing eye TV sets, hidden tape recorders, spinning subliminal suggestions. It's one of the things I enjoy about vintage science fiction, even more than new science fiction, is we are just now realizing what some of these old novels, let's see, 1967, you know, they predicted AI. They predicted so much of what we're dealing with right now. More John Brunner. This is Double Double. Ballantine Science Fiction, 75 cents cover price. And is this an anthology? Let's see. J.A. Smith. What does this say? Two Tut? I haven't decided if I'm going to erase that, if I'll erase the pencil out of these. 1969. I guess this is not an anthology. No. Soldier Ask Not, Gordon R. Dickson, 50 cents. The Hugo-winning novel of Destiny and Revenge Between the Stars. Let's see. That's pretty large type for that, in my opinion. Let's see, 1967. You're definitely seeing a theme with my taste, right? You can see what my home base is. Gordon R. Dickson Pro, 10 cents. Why is this 10 cents? I don't understand. Why is one book 5 cents? One book is 10 cents. And it's not like there were multiple copies of most of these. This was what was there. Maybe it's been there a long time. Do we have a price tag dating scheme here? Not that I can tell. Oh, this has illustrations in it. All right, when is this? A little foxing. $1978. There's a hair there. Earthman's Burden, Poul Anderson and Gordon R. Dickson. This was 75 cents. The adventures of the galaxy's zaniest creatures begin. The Incredible Hokas. More interior artwork. It's not a lot of it. And we have someone's name and address in there. I better not stay on there for too long. 1957, and what printing is this? Let's see, First Avon printing, December 1979. Four Came Back by Martin Caidin. Now, some of you guys are going to know that Martin Caidin wrote the book that became the source material for The $6 Million Man. I believe it's called, is it Cyborg? Books by Martin Caidin. Let's see. I don't see it listed there. What year is this? Let's see. Oh, maybe it hadn't been written yet. McKay edition published September 1968. Bantam edition published February 1970. So there you go. Oh, here's there you go. The back cover. CJ Sherry. Again, some of these names I don't know that I've ever said out loud, so I might be saying them incorrectly, but you can let me know in the comments below. By the way, hit that like button. Please like, please subscribe to the channel. I used to do a lot of paperback videos, book collecting videos, and I've sort of taken a step back on that. I still do it, but I don't make videos about it. So if you're enjoying this and you'd like to see more things like this, let me know. Let me know with a comment, or just show me some support, and we can keep it coming. Chandler. A. Bertram Chandler, which is some classic stuff. Daw. It's not a, I guess it was at one point, the yellow spine Daw. But it looks a little yellow it looks more yellow on camera than it does in person. But as most of you probably know, Daw would number the books 225. Price number 327. We're missing a page here. As you can see, a page has been torn out, but we still have the copyright page, so I don't know what was on that page. More Gordon R. Dickson. This looks decidedly older, late 60s, early 70s, 50-cent cover price. I'm going to say this is maybe 69. This cover even looks like maybe it's trying to capitalize on 2001. So let's see. What do we got? The book rack again, and a name, January 75. All right, I might be way off. Copyright 1965. Okay, I'm October 1965. Gordon R. Dickson, Spacepaw. We already did a Spacepaw. Hold on a second. So I have two of those as well, because we already talked about this version of Spaceballs. So these are, wow, what a completely different approach to these. So let's see, 50 cents, 75 cents on the one we've already talked about. What year did this printing? Let's see, copyright 1969. Berkeley Medallion Edition, March 1976. Third printing. Interesting. Colin Cap, Patterns of Chaos, $1.25. Interesting cover treatment. Let's get the sticker off of here because I want to see the rest of this cover as I peel it off very carefully here. Okay. I took a little bit. I think I took a little bit of the cover off right there. Interesting. It's got a name in here, H.L. Camp Jr. Copyright 1972, and then 1973 again after that. How about some classic H-Beam Piper? This is the first paperback publication. Uller Uprising, $1.50. And this is from, got a little bit of a bend or blemish there. That's to be expected, I suppose. Let's see, Printing History Twain edition was 1952, and then Ace edition 1983, and third printing February 1984. It's like a Black Sabbath cover, 80s Black Sabbath. Peace Company by Roland Green, 90 cents. Ever armed and always ready to stop or start a war. If you seek peace, prepare for war. What year is this? 1985. The Fortress World. James E. Gunn, classic science fiction writer. Ooh, this is in really good condition. Can you guys see how clean it is? No foxing, no real bends, no tear. Well, we got a stamp here. That stamp ruins everything. Copyright 1955. This book published in 1979. DAW. There's 3 DAW releases of these, the Yellow Spine. This is a series. I don't know if these are in any sort of order here. I don't remember the exact order. Maybe it tells me. Kesrith Shonjir. Let's see, Kesrith Shonjir, and then we'll put that one right there. 90 cents, 90 cents, 50 cents, and $1.25. Now these are not in great shape. This one's got some a tear on the cover. So it's got a sticker, but you get the artwork, right? And you get those yellow spines. What are the numbers here? DAW 300, probably not consecutive. 333 and 372. So that's the length of time difference that they were coming out. Galactic Odyssey. This font is very reminiscent to me of Battlestar Galactica and the L. Ron Hubbard paperbacks that we've seen by Keith Laumer, classic author. Someone has drawn with a Sharpie or a magic marker, they've drawn a line through the price tag, the original price listing here. $1.50. Down and Out on Planet Earth. What year was this released? Oh, Book Nook. Trade books and CDs at the Book Nook, everyone. 1967 copyrights. First tour printing August 1983. The Lensman series continued with new writers. So this is a 25-cent book continuing the adventures of E.E. Doc Smith's Galactic Champions. All new authorized adventures of the Lensman. This has a $2.50 cover price, so we're a little bit later than some of this other stuff here. Let's see, 1982. I thought it would be a little bit later than that. The Jaws of Minx. Who is this by? Anne Maxwell. Someone was charging $1.50 for it. How about 90 cents? Yes, I'll have that for 90 cents. It's not in great shape. It's got some wear to the cover, as you can see. It's not perfect. It's got some creases in the spine, but oh, check this out. What are we advertising here? Science Fiction Book Club, right on. I was a member for a long time, for many years, probably, I don't know, a decade or more. All right, it's tearing as I'm trying to unfold it. That's fun though. So let's see what book selections, and I'm being careful not to bend the spine here. Larry Niven, The Ringworld Engineers, Barlow's Guide to Extraterrestrials, Philip Jose Farmer, The Magic Labyrinth. What prices are we dealing with here? You'll get 6 books for just $1 plus shipping and handling. You may examine them in your home, and if not completely satisfied, return them within 10 days. What if you could read them within 10 days? Some damage here. What year is this? 81. Look at this. A nickel. Anne McCaffrey. The Coelura? The Coelura. The Coelura. With this silver foil, this embossed foil. This is like comic book territory right here. Cover gimmicks. What year? Okay, 1983 and 1987. A nickel. Starfarers, Vonda N. McIntyre. Really love Vonda N. McIntyre. I've got a copy of this that's in much worse shape. So I wanted one that was, this is still not perfect, but it's a step up. It's a little bit bent, slightly warped there. But it doesn't have some of the problems that the other copy of this that I have does. Look at this. Vonda N. McIntyre wrote some of the early Star Trek novels and is the one that named Nyota Uhura. We had Uhura, but she gave her first name, Nyota. And also Sulu, Hikaru. She gave him his first name as well. And those became canon. So several of the things that she did, that she wrote in those early Star Trek novels, became canon. And were just absorbed into the mythos of Star Trek. So that's pretty great. What year is this? This is 89. We've got another Daw. This is Daw book number 20, early in the run. L. Ron Hubbard, of course. Old Doc Methuselah, $1.75. I don't know if that price has anything to do with the low, how early in the Daw. Oh, we got a book plate. How early in the Daw series this was. Book plate here, copyright 1970. James Blish and All the Stars, a stage, 25 cents. A bookseller, CELLAR seller, wanted $1 for it. How about 25 cents? Yes, please. When you think about, and again, I don't have to convince you, but when you think about the joy you can get from a book, look at this beautiful red page treatment here. The book, the enjoyment you can get from a book. If you pay $0.25 for something, you get 5 hours or 10 hours or maybe more than that of joy out of something that's almost free. It's almost free imagination. 1971, and then this edition, first Avon printing, is May of 1974. Crawford Killian Griffin. Let's see, $1.25 for Century's electronic mail. Okay, hold on. What year is this? We're talking about email. What year? 1989. For Century's electronic mail was the only path to the stars. Then the aliens introduced a special delivery, Griffin. So I don't know, but you know, it seems like it could be fun, and I like the cover art there. It's a good piece of good bit of imagery. 1989. Let's see, we already did that. Oh, let me move on to. Oh, this one's much older. Soldier Ask Not, Gordon R. Dickson. I'm going to put this 1965. Let's see, 60 cents. 75 cents is what I paid. So not a whole lot more than it cost when it was brand new. This has sort of a blue. It's a little bit green on the camera, but in person it's more blue. But I wonder how much of that is a reaction to this blue background. Let's see, 67. It was a little bit off. Not too far off, though. The Space Swimmers by Gordon Dickson. No R, just Gordon Dickson. 50 cents. And it's got 50 cents in here, too. The stamp that says 50 cents. 1967, so around the same time. The Alien Way, Gordon R. Dickson. Okay. 50 light years out in space. Bait 13 was the virus-bugged earthworm, which would put a man inside an alien mind. 75 cents. And book exchange in Alpharetta, Georgia. Stamp. 1965. So this is the earliest of these so far. Wolfling. Let's see. Cold Tonnage Books. Oh, this is from the UK. £1, 95. Dell. 50 cents. I'm going to have to be very careful taking the sticker off of this. Blue. Bluish green. Maybe a teal. Let's see. New York, 1968 and 1969 copyright. Printed in the United States. So this somehow made its way to the UK, apparently, and then made its way back. This is Christopher Stasheff, who is, you guys know, I'm sure you know, this is the second book of the Warlock series. Oh, they've got some water damage here. And is that a signature? Is that a C? R? Is that a T? R? I'm going to have to go to the internet and see what Christopher Stasheff's signature looked like. We might have a second signed book. Or a scribble from our previous owner. Hard to know. Oh, did I show you the back of this? William Tinn, The Wooden Star, 75 cents. Look at the whole series here. Along the bottom. Of the 6 volumes of William Tinn's work now made simultaneously available, The Wooden Star comes closest to being a pacifist collection. Let's see, what... Copyright 1957. Okay, copyright 1968. First printing June 1968. A Tapestry of Magics by Brian Daley. Some of you probably know Brian Daley from his Star Wars tie-in work. $1.25. This is discolored quite badly. It's pretty much purple. You can see it's pulling away from the showing up, pulling away from the book itself too. 1983. I don't know if this was just stored in extreme heat. I don't know. Alan Dean Foster, Shadow Keep, 50 cents. Not in great shape. It's been pretty well read. This needs a little glue right here because it's starting to separate and pull away just a little bit, starting to open up. Copyright 1984. All right, we've got a few Andre Nortons here. This is No Night Without Stars, $1.25. McKay's Used Books. Look at this. This is a very old McKay. How long has McKay? I think it's been around since the 70s. Someone's tried to get that off too, and they couldn't do it. 62, and this got a $sign and then 90 cents. Anyway, $1.25. And oh, what is this? Someone's health. You see that a lot. Health, like a health card. Okay, this is absolutely pulling away. This is going to need some glue because this is going to come out. In fact, these pages are starting to lift out, so I'll have to put a little bit of book binding glue in that area. 1975. More Andre Norton. Huon of the Horn. Now, you know, let's get this. Let's carefully get this sticker off. Very nice. A wondrous tale of brave knights, black-hearted villains, and fairy kings in a magical time of the long ago. Copyright 1951, and then copyright renewed 1979. First Fawcett Crest printing October of 1980. Stargate. Another wonderful cover. I got to get this sticker off of here. I love the font. Very psychedelic stuff here. Stargate. Look at that. Like the War of the Worlds, a fascinating look at alternate destinies and changes in time. Copyright 1958. This is March 1980. Let's see, I'm going to set these to the side here because we'll come back to those. We'll keep up with our sci-fi theme here. H-Beam Piper, Space Viking, $1.25. Look at that. What year? Oh, let me hold that up for you a little bit longer so you can freeze it. Epic science fiction adventure to compare with Foundation and Starship Trooper. Starship Troopers? Heinlein? Is that what we're referencing? Copyright 1963. This can't be a 1963 printing, though. Okay. H.B. Piper, Fuzzies and Other People. Okay, we gotta see what we're looking at here. The first publication of the legendary long-lost third Fuzzy novel. I believe I've got the first one. I don't think I have a second one. As we reveal the Fuzzies themselves. The titular Fuzzies. Titular Fuzzies. Titular Fuzzies was a great band that I got to see in 1989. Ace Original 1984. H.B. Piper, Paratime. I won't take the sticker off of this. We kind of get the idea here. 75 cents. Introduction by John Carr. Bit of spider web there, I believe, or something. Maybe it's fuzz. I don't know. We got some foxing going on. And let's see, August of 1981, fourth printing May of 1983. More Vonda in McIntyre, who I've previously praised. Powerful new novel set in the universe of the Starfarers, which we talked about. And if you don't remember it, this is the one we were talking about. $1.25. So, you know, 2 books in the same series for $2. Where are you going to find that, you know? Hard to turn that down. What is this? 1990. I think this is 89, right? Yeah, 89 and 1990. Gordon R. Dixon, The Earth Lords. 10 cents. A dime. It's crazy. Needs cleaning. It's got some gunk on it, and I will clean it. Let's see, copyright 1989. The Yellow Fraction by Rex Gordon. This was 75 cents. Wonder what it was before it was 75 cents. Let's see if I can get that off. It was 90 cents. Okay, they knocked 15 cents off. And What is that? I'm trying to decide if this is coloring, deliberately coloring pages, or if that's just age. I think that maybe it's just age. Hard to know. Let's see. Copyright 1969. H. Beam Piper, Lord Calvan of Otherwyn. Let's get this off so we can see if it comes away easily. It's got a blurb from Lester Del Rey. '65, and this edition is 1982. Look at what an interesting font they've written that in. This Ace printing July 1982. And they don't credit the cover artist. Something that you see sort of often. Diadem from the Stars. I've been putting together a Joe Clayton run for a little while, and I didn't have this one, so I was really glad when I saw this in the wild. Of course, I could have bought it off of eBay, but where's the fun in that? We want to find it in the wild. Get that thrill, that dopamine rush of finding something you've been looking for staring at you from the shelf. This is Daw, but it's not yellow spine Daw. What year? 1977. This is Alexis A. Gilliland, The End of the Empire. 10 cents. Very good condition. Very little age. Age to the page. Copyright 1983. All right, we're about to talk about the last stack from McKay's. It's a tall stack, but this is the last stack from McKay's. We'll go quicker once we get through the McKay's stuff, because the rest of it is not as exciting, and it doesn't have, well, actually it does have price tags on it. This is The Ring, Piers Anthony and Robert E. Margroff, Chilling Extrapolation, quote. They're $1.25. What year? So yeah, see, this is another one that I would wonder. See, on the camera, it just looks like aged pages, but in person, it looks like maybe there was a color to the pages, to the, copyright 1968. This is a creased front cover. Jim Baen, New Destinies, the man who started the label, Baen Books, has put this together. This was 50 cents. All right, we gotta see what's going on under here, because we got a guy drinking a beer in a space bar. The Paperback Magazine of Science Fiction and Speculative Fact, Volume 2, Fall 1987. Oh, it's a wraparound. New Fact and Fiction by these authors. Harry Turtledove. Look, I'm not gonna... I'm going to be very careful here. That's cool. Let's see who our authors are. Charles Sheffield. Multiple by Charles Sheffield. Steve Gould. Okay. Alien Stars. 3 short novels of future war, never before in print. How about 50 cents? 50 cents and it's yours. Take it, take it. Going, gone. Elizabeth Mitchell, the editor. It's a 3rd autographed book, you guys. Wow. Copyright 1985. What in the world? It just makes you wonder. It makes me wonder what happened to the original owner. I mean, 50 cents for an autographed book, but then again, maybe they never opened up the page. They probably didn't. The book has probably not been opened since the person who had it before me read it. Paul Anderson, There Will Be Time, 75 cents. Time Travel Impossible. This is A little bit worn cover, but it's actually pretty securely on there. Doesn't need to be re-glued. 1973, March 1973. Definitely a yellow spine treatment here, or outer page. All right, here's sort of a trilogy here. Let's see if I can get. They're all warped, as you can see. They're all warped there. But this is Kenneth C. Flint, and again, these are probably not in the proper order. It would tell us under here, probably. Let's see, the thrilling adventure-filled climax. Okay, so that's going to be book 3. It might not even be a trilogy. There might be more. Ooh, look at how brown, how aged that is. Let's see if we can get a guide. Okay, the Riders, Champions. There's the Riders. There's Champions, Master, and then a Storm. Okay, is this Master? Okay, yeah, all right. So that is 3 books. That's the trilogy. 25 cents, 50 cents, 50 cents. How about a whole trilogy for $1.25? It's just crazy. Looks like a heavy Celtic influence here. What year? 1960. Sorry, 1984. 64. They may take our lives, but they'll never take our trilogy. 1984. 85, I'm guessing, for this one. 85. All right, 1 a year. Starbridge. I already have a printing of this book from a different run, and I've read it and I enjoyed it. It's kind of space opera where it's actually an interesting premise. This company, this corporation, invents fast space travel, and then they use it to take over the galaxy because people need it. You know, they're like, we'll give it to you, and then they use that to become an empire. It's very much like, you know, Rome, where you have all these different outlying facets of the empire, and it's rotting from within. The problem with the printing that I have, is that it has it has formatting issues, which is horrible. You know, certain words, like I'm trying to remember exactly what it is. It's hard to read at times. And so when I saw this for $0.25, I was like, all right, well, I enjoyed the book. Hey, there's a Sci-Fi Book Club ad in there again. I enjoyed it, and I wanted a better copy of it. Outlaw freebooter in a galaxy of slaves. It's good. I recommend it. And it was, let's see, Jack Williamson and James E. Gunn. I believe, if memory serves, James E. Gunn conceived the thing and he started to write it and then hit a wall. And Jack Williamson took his notes and finished it. Copyright 1955 by Jack Williamson and James E. Gunn. So it's interesting, like that premise that I just told you about, 1955. Thomas Wren, The Doomsday Effect, 75 cents. This is a Baen paperback. Reads like a cross between Hogan and Heinlein, says Jim Baen. Oh, it's from the Heinlein Society. Let's see, the Heinlein Society, H4H at HeinleinSociety.org. Is that still around? This is in really good condition. Copyright 1986. Torch of Honor, 50 cents. Roger McBride Allen. Didn't Roger McBride Allen write at least one of the Indiana Jones spin-off novels in the early 90s? I think he did. Let's see here. 1985. All right. Star Spinner. Dale Aycock. If this isn't... Okay, we got to get this off. If this isn't Star Wars exploitation, I don't know what is. This man is holding a lightsaber on the surface of a planet. And this is tearing here too. They got to be very careful about this. Let's see here. I just want to see this man. He's definitely not a Jedi. No, not a Jedi. This has got to be 1977 or 1978, I'm going to guess. We'll check. Oh, an Empire held hostage. Nice. Galactic Control. Okay, let's see. Browning. Aging. 1981. Okay, so we're post Empire Strikes Back, but still. I'm not complaining. Definitely not complaining. Under Heaven's Bridge. This is pretty beat up. But yeah, 75 cents. Thought I'd give it a shot. The Kybers. You think of Kyber Crystal, Star Wars. I think it's spelled differently, but interesting, right? What year is this? 1981. The Demu trilogy. This is an entire trilogy, and you guys know the Timescape treatment, the Timescape range was sort of an all-encompassing science fiction label for pocketbooks. A lot of the Star Trek novels in the early days, the early 80s, fell under the Timescape banner. This is copyright 1980. Let's see. This one's published in 1973, 1975, and 1980. Okay. Check this out. The Micronauts and the Microcolony by Gordon Williams. Now, I don't know. You know the Micronauts toy line, the Micronauts comics. I don't know if that's where this is from. I've done zero research. I wanted to make a video about these books as soon as I could, but I wonder if this is the source material for the Micronauts, illustrated by Boris Vallejo. Anyway, is this that Micronauts? Well, this is illustrated by Boris Vallejo, but there's not a whole lot of illustration in here. All right, let's see here. Copyright 1977. I mean, the timing kind of lines up. I don't see any... oh, look, this was $5 when they tried to sell it somewhere. 75 cents for that one. The Microcolony, also by Gordon Williams, author of The Micronauts. This has got, what is it? It's a dog. It's like a collie, like a lassie. Or maybe it's a fox. Hard to tell. $3 for this one is what somebody was trying to charge. I'm going to guess this is 78. Let's see them. This was the second book in the series. 1979. I was close. All right, check this out. Battlestar Galactica. The greatest space epic ever from ABC TV and Universal. $2.25. I had to have it. There were several Battlestar Galactica books, and I believe I have a few from the range, but I don't believe I have a copy of this, the first one. So, oh, that looks good on the blue background too. We got photos on the back cover of the cast. I have an album. I played Ben Cartwright. Let's see here. 1978. Battlestar Galactica. Mike Resnick, an author that I really enjoy. This is Stalking the Unicorn, A Fable of Tonight. Sort of a noir meets fantasy tone. I'm currently reading his, slowly, read one of the entries and then move on to something else for a while and then come back to another entry. But his Galactic Circus series. And it's, I mean, it's dark. It's really dark. But I am enjoying it. So someone is charging $2.25 for this at some point, and I paid 50 cents. This is 1987. The Wizard of Anarite by Colin Capp, 75 cents. $1972. This edition, February 1980. Stephen Clapper, Agents of Insight. Again, sort of a noir, maybe Dashiell Hammett meets, I don't know, take your pick. Famous sci-fi author. $1.25 for this one. Book's not in great shape. It's showing some age, but I mean, sometimes you just got to give it a shot, because it's. I should mention, all of these I bought to read, not to sell, not for profit. 1986. If I read them and I don't like them, then I can sell them. But the goal of these was not to flip, profit, anything like that. Gunnar Cade, C.M. Kornbluth, and Judith Merrill writing as serial judge. 50 cents for this one is what I paid. It had a $3.50 price tag on the back of it. And what year is this? It's got the blue, that teal blue treatment. Copyright 1952. First Dell printing June of 1969. Beachhead Planet, Robert Moore Williams. He fought the invasion of the Brain Snatchers. 25 cents. All right, this is almost identical. Let me get this off very, very carefully. This is incredibly close to the promotional artwork for Black Star. Was that this Filmation, right? There was a Filmation cartoon around the time as He-Man called Black Star. And it was a man on a dragon, a man riding a dragon or a serpent beast with a sword. Very similar to this. I wonder if this was an inspiration. Do we know? Oh, this cover is you can see through. It's coming loose right there. Needs some attention probably. 1970. But, oh, there we go. That is so iconic. Did we have an artist? I don't see one. The Man Who Wanted Stars, 25 cents. $1965, and is that this edition? Yeah, it looks like it. More Vonda in McIntyre. See, I told you that I had not done a lot of organizing here. 90 cents for this one, the breathtaking conclusion to the most important series in science fiction. 1994 for this one. Guardian, $1.25. Let's see, it's got $1.58 on the cover and on the inside. Rebecca Posey. Thank you for the book, Rebecca. Copyright 1980. This is for Roger Zelazny, creator of Worlds. Theodore Sturgeon. The Stars Are the Sticks. Look at that cover. 90 cents. It's got that blue-green treatment to the pages. Let's see. Here's quite a lengthy copyright history. This edition is 1979. Skinner, Richard S. McEnroe, 5 cents. That's why I bought it. I was like, well, the only thing tougher than dragon hides are the men who hunt them. I was like, okay, so he's a dragon hunter. 5 cents. I'll give it a shot. If nothing else, it's got a cool cover painting. And this is from 1985. Almost done with this section. Farewell to Yesterday's Tomorrow, 25 cents. Alexei Panshin. Let's see. Is this a doll? No, it's not. Not a doll. Are they competing with doll? 1975 Berkeley Medallion. It just very much seems to be copying that doll treatment. Special Delivery, Gordon R. Dixon, 75 cents. This is from a slight tear there to the pages. Copyright 1961, and then this edition is 1979. The Fellowship of the Talisman by Clifford D. Simak, 25 cents for this one. It's seen better days, cover-wise at least. It's pretty tight binding, incredibly tight binding, actually. It's in very good, readable condition. But the cover has seen some wear. Maybe I can polish some of it up. Copyright 1978. And then let's see, here's another Special Deliverance. 10 cents. Yeah, hold that longer. 1982. All right, because we were doing science fiction, I saved these for a little bit later. Max Allan Collins, my friend, Max Allan Collins has become my friend. I've done multiple audio commentaries for Blu-ray releases with Max Allan Collins. We have many more to come because we've committed to quite a few of them. We enjoy working together. It's crazy that I get to call Max Allan Collins my friend, but I do. And I saw this, and I don't have a copy of this. This is No Cure for Death. And I just had to have it. And the cover, it's got an incredibly brittle cover here, and it is starting to come away. But hang in there. We love you is the inscription here. And it's got, the car is hanging off the cliff. So it's almost like it's a pun. It's probably not intended to be. I think, what is this? 83. And this tour printing is April of 1987. And then I found another Max Allan Collins book. This is Mommy, which was the inspiration for the cult movie. He directed Mommy. If you want to hear more about Max Allan Collins and this movie, check out my interview with Max. He's been on my channel multiple times, but in our first interview, we got really in depth on his career, his filmmaking, and he told some stories from behind the scenes of the making of the movie version of this. But now I have the book version of this in paperback. This is November of 1997, and just absolutely good. It's it's a little worn on the spine, but really good condition. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about is a haul from a picker store. You know those stores that they're kind of like antique stores, but they're huge, and you have to just you hunt. And some of it's overpriced, and some of it's not. I spent about 2 or 3 hours in one of those recently, and I scored some pretty good stuff here. This was the E. Doc Smith, Skylark of Valeron. Now, obviously, this is in terrible shape as far as just water damage. But this was $1, and it's vintage, right? So I had to have it because that's who I am. You've probably learned that about me over the course of this video. Copyright 1934, 1935, 1949. This edition is 1974. And then check it out, a Daw paperback, yellow spine paperback, Prelude to Chaos. It has a $2 sticker on it, but it was not $2. Actually, it might have been $2. Yeah, I was going to say this one was $1 too. Now, this one was $2, but it's not creased. It's in good shape. 1983. $5 for this one at this picker store. The Spy Who Loved Me. I'm hoping that this will come off without any problem. I'm going to do that off camera. But beautiful, just maybe just a great collectible. And it's in pretty good shape. It's not perfectly straight. It's a little bit, get a little bit of a warp to it. It's browning and tanning on the pages. But you don't see stuff like that every day. And this was $1. This is Road Rocket, originally published as Boy Gets Car. And it's from, let's see, there's a stain right there here. Noble Old Heap. That's what Woody Ahern, president of Road Rockets, thought when he first saw the big old 47 Ford. And when the motor roared to life, Woody knew he had to have it, no matter what he had to do to get it. I want to read this, and it's from 1960. Clear water damage there, and this, you see this, it's coming away. It's becoming unbound, but I will put some glue there, and it'll be okay. The rest of these are Westerns, and we're going to go fast because they're not in great shape. Tall Man Riding. Carmody, Tall Man Riding. Now, clearly just stealing the lightness of Clint Eastwood. In fact, we're not even going to do the copyright stuff for a lot of this. This is going to be 70s. I'll do it for one. Look, read this one. Is that 28? They've said there. It has a hospital stamp. East End Memorial Hospital stamp in there. So this is, I don't want to judge too harshly. This might have been in the hospital, and this is what was keeping people. 1970. This is what was keeping people entertained and distracted while they were going through some tough stuff. Trail of the Innocents. All of these were 50 cents. And again, not great shape. In fact, some of them even have some damage to them. One of them's missing some pages, which I didn't realize when I bought it. Like, look at this. Red, 10/25/84. Just terrible. Just terrible shape. But it's intact. Cover's intact, which is a huge part of the appeal for these. Is seeing that vintage artwork. Bannerman. J. Flynn. Comanche Vengeance by Richard Jessup. All of these were on a bookshelf. I walked over, is in this booth. I walked into the booth and everything was extremely overpriced. And then I saw the bookshelf, and these, my heart sang when I saw these old Western novels. You just don't find that many of them anymore, I feel like. I don't know why that is. Lobo Gray. Yeah, here's an example, you know. Red, 10/7/82. It's got a name in it, Annie Mae Lee, 11/3/80. Just abused, right? But you can read them. And this has the Zane Grey collection. Let Zane Grey take you out of the world you're in. You see these a lot of places. Hang McAllister, Matt Chisholm. So see, these aren't really collectible condition, but they're readable. Wayne D. Overholster, The Violent Land. Earl. It's Earl. Earl had this. Polly Gale. This is multiple names. There's at least 3 names. Short Stuff? Who's Short Stuff? Did all of these people read this one book? Gringo Gun. Look at that font. He rode the showdown trail alone, daring the fury of a lawless town. E. Halloran. I mean, that's a very famous name. Bounty on Bannister, D.B. Newton. Two complete Western novels, Rio Renegade and Bullet for Bannerman by Kirk Hamilton. Yancey Bannerman, the enforcer, and Johnny Cato joined forces in pursuit of a renegade called the Bearcat. Cato captured the outlaw but lost him and nearly lost his own life. It makes me feel good to know that there's a man like that out there. I don't know about you. Jake Logan, See Texas and Die. The Manhunter, 50 cents. Badly abused. Torn cover. Heavy writing. A yellow stain. I don't even want to know. I did look up. Somebody's pulled out the flyer for whatever they were selling in here. I did look up how long germs live on books. Germs live on paper for, a day or two. So these are probably 40 years in the clear, but I still need to clean them as much as I can. The Settling of the Sage. Squatter, get out. We don't want your kind here. The Mustang Men, beautiful cover treatment. I love the font. I love the painted artwork. A Rancho Bravo novel. And again, these are heavily warped, they're not straight. But I just want to read them because I love Westerns. Return to Arapaho. Look at this. It's just so defaced. 50 cents. I think this is the one. No, this is intact. One of them starts at like page 25. But I didn't realize until after it was... I did leave some behind, believe it or not. There were some of them that I just thought, well, I can't even read that. It's falling apart. Wildcat Range. Range of Death. L.L. Foreman's Rogue's Legacy. Kind of looks like Dean Martin mixed with Michael Palin. And this is going to need to be glued back down. But I'm up for the challenge. This is the one. Gunpowder Valley. Beautiful cover. and starts on page 25. So what are you going to do? You know, if you have pages 1 through 24, you'd like to send them my way, let me know. Elbow Creek. Johnny Kettle rode tall in the saddle with death slung low on his hip. Half Indian, half mountain man, and all poison. Seven Dust Devil Horse. Xerox Education Publications. Interesting. Again, this cover is not long for this earth. You can actually see, through it on the bend, the crease, the corner. 1976. Let's see. Xerox Education Publications paperback book club edition, published by arrangement with David McKay. Interesting. The Devil's Playground. Cliff Farrell. The Trailsman. Six Gun Drive. No kid should be reading this. I hope that this wasn't a children's collection, a child's collection. This gets pretty steamy in here. Another one. Look at this cover. Hot Lead. Dwight Bruckner. The two young cowboys killed 3 of the fastest killers in town. A man could get killed. And these have, look at this. This has the Newport, when they used to put cigarette ads in these things. 5 milligrams of tar. Is that what that is? The Tough Texan. 20 cents. Well, I paid 50. And it looks, it's been chewed. Can you see that? Yeah. Definitely needs to be cleaned up. All right, that's that. And from the same picker store, I picked up a few hardcovers. Come Together, The Business Wisdom of the Beatles. This is not a vintage paperback, but I have a Beatles book collection, and I don't have this, so I thought I would give it a shot for that. The Elvis Files. Was his death faked? This is interesting to me. $6. I don't believe that Elvis is still alive. I don't believe that he faked his death. But the people that do kind of fascinate me. I love Elvis, and I wish that what had happened didn't happen. But this just seems like an interesting read to me. On that note, My Life with Elvis, capitalizing on his death. This came out in 1977. The Fond Memories of a Fan Who Became Elvis's Private Secretary. And this is the book club edition. Book club edition right here. But I'm going to give it a go. I love the color choices and the fonts and all of that stuff. Now this is notable right here. Oh, you know what? I'm going to come back to these in just a second. Let's go with 8 Miles High. This is Folk Rock's Flight from Haight-Ashbury to Woodstock by Richie Unterberger, probably the premier folk rock historian, musicologist. I have several of his books in various formats, but I don't have a physical copy of this, or I didn't. So now I do, and I paid $5 for that. All right, these save for the very ugly X's on the bottom. Let me see if volume 1 and volume 2. This is the Blackwater 6 book series. Now Michael McDowell wrote Beetlejuice. I should say Michael McDowell is one of the people that worked on Beetlejuice, worked on the screenplay for Beetlejuice. He was a Southern writer. These are Southern Gothic books, and he's a kind of a fascinating figure. I know what his biography mentions, not his. If you look up who he is and what little we know about him, it's like he was collecting death photographs and things like that. Sort of a morbid guy, but these are Southern Gothic novels. The Flood, The Levee, The House, The War, The Fortune, and Rain. Basically, superpowers, you know, like sort of like Carrie, I suppose. And I've never seen these omnibus editions with the 3 novels in one. This is Mary Sue Landman's collection. This is the book club edition, sort of book club omnibus, and these are from 1983. So I wanted to shout those out. Okay, we're almost done here. When I was in McKay's, this was the Chattanooga location to be specific with you, I ducked into a thrift store. I don't have a lot of luck at thrift stores anymore, but I did on this day because I got everything I'm about to show you for 50 cents. So a hardcover copy of Enchanted Pilgrimage by Clifford D. Seamack. I got some Louis L'Amour, Hondo, and Long Ride Home. Check this out. The Black Death. The story of the bubonic plague, the dread disease that ravaged Europe for 5 centuries. Got a book plate in here. And it's copyright 1960. Got an Ed McBain book. I'm going to have to get this sticker off of it. Set these to the side. And then you know where we're going. We're going back to sci-fi fantasy land. Anne McCaffrey, Dragon's Dawn. And Anne McCaffrey, The Renegades of Pern. So both of these, again, 50 cents. Not in the best of shape. Look how dirty. We'll clean them up later. But some pretty good stuff here. We've got David Eddings, book 1 of the Malorian, Guardians of the West. Book 2 of the Malorian, King of the Murgos. Book 3, Demon Lord of Karanda. And then this is not in that series. This is book 1 of the Elenium. But, again, 50 cents. I just don't see things like that. And then I've got The Armies of Daylight by Barbara Hambly. The Ladies of Mandragon and The Witches of Windshire. Now, this is a series, and there's a book. There are books missing from this as far as like a chronological series, but when you find books like this for 50 cents, you grab them. This is volume 1 of the histories of King Kelson from Catherine Kurtz, The Bishop's Heir, and then this is volume 1, volume 3, so no volume 2. But I was pleased to see more of these Catherine Kurtz books. Darini Rising. This is volume 1 of the Chronicles of the Darini. This is volume 2. We've got Camber of Culdee, which is volume 1 of that trilogy. We've got volume 2, St. Camber, volume 2 in the Legends of Camber Culdee. And then volume 3. So we have the entire Camber of Culdee series for $1.50. I was very impressed. You know, the manager of the store, of the thrift store, saw me browsing and everything, and he said, "Hey, I've got 4 shopping carts in the back full of books if you want to go look through them." Because he knew he was selling me on it, and so I did, and I found a few things. That's where I found the westerns and several of that stuff. So that's going to do it for this book haul video. Again, if you want to see more things like this, let me know. I don't make videos like this that run this length just showing things that I've found, but I've enjoyed it. I wanted to share this with you guys and get some feedback from you. What of these books have you read? What do you recommend? We can continue the conversation in the comments below. I certainly have my work cut out for me in terms of cleaning these, getting some of the stickers off. In fact, I may just decide to leave some of the stickers. But cleaning them, bringing some life and some polish back to some of these books. You know, they're some of them are in better shape than others, but that's why we do what we do, right? If you're a book collector, if you're any kind of a collector, you know, it's the thrill of the hunt, and polishing them up, cleaning your stuff up, brings order to it. Organizing this stuff is part of the fun. So thanks for the time that you spent with me here. I appreciate you. Remember, please give me a thumbs up if you like this, subscribe to this channel, comment below, and we can continue the conversation. Thank you so much. Until next time, I will catch you later.